Now joining us, ESPN's Trevor Matich, who has been a busy beaver in Bristol with ESPN. He's always busy doing stuff. Trevor, welcome back to the program, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Can you believe it's already 2019?
It's been the longest decade of our lives.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, COVID season 3. What's going to happen this year? Okay, let's talk about some BYU news that's happened. We've been breaking it down on the show. Tyler Allgeier, of course, announces he's going to go to the NFL. Neil Pau, Baylor Romney says he's going to move on. He's reportedly in the transfer portal, just going to see what happens. He doesn't necessarily have to play per se, but what's your reaction to all of this news? Let's start with Tyler Allgeier.
Well, I don't know what else he could do to improve his ability to enter the NFL that he's already done. He is a phenomenal power runner. He runs for speed. He's good at misdirection and making guys miss for a back his size. He can catch out of the backfield, and he's proven to be a very good blocker on pass protection. And so I don't know what he would do to tell scouts anything more than he's already told them with the film that he's already produced. And so while it's hard for BYU to lose such a talented player, at the same time, this really is the time for him to go and give it a shot at the next level.
What do you think about the backup quarterback as a former national champion center at BYU? How important is that spot as the Cougars look to replace Romney?
I don't think we would have won the national championship had it not been for Blaine Fowler, who was our backup quarterback to Robbie Bosco. And all you have to do is look at the Holiday Bowl against Michigan. They dove into Robbie's knee. He had to be helped off the field in the second quarter. And here comes Blaine. And Michigan at that time, you could say, had the momentum, or at least it was in the balance. And here comes the backup quarterback, and Blaine Fowler did more than hold it together. Blaine Fowler kept the ball rolling so that Michigan could not jump on top of us at that point. And had it not been for Blaine's preparation and his skill and his talent, I don't know that we would have won the national championship, because I think we would have fallen behind at that point. And so the backup quarterback is absolutely massive. And that's one of the things that young players can learn from Blaine, is that even when you're not playing in meaningful situations as often as you want earlier in the season, you still are a critical component. And the way Blaine prepared is the model for everybody that plays that backup position.
10 straight games to start the season again for BYU, then a bye, and then an FCS opponent in Dixie State, live on BYU TV, and then Stanford. What's your reaction to BYU playing 10 straight games again next season without a bye?
Well, they're going to have to get their depth squared away again, right? This year, their depth was absolutely tested. And I think they got a feeling for what that's like to play that kind of a schedule that relentlessly, and what it means for the next man up. And again, we go back to the example of Blaine, where you get yourself ready as if you're the starter, because you could be at a critical moment at any point. A lot of BYU players, young players, learned that firsthand this year. And I think the fact that they had to rotate so many guys in will help them in terms of their depth for next year.
Look, we got to stop talking about Blaine, or his head's not even going to fit in this studio. And I got a game with him coming up on Thursday night. Trevor, I was just looking at your 84 schedule, and you had 2 byes before the end of October. BYU's last year as an independent, coming up this fall, again, going those 10 straight. That's going to change clearly with the Big 12. I think those byes will be much more friendly, won't they, moving forward?
Yeah, the byes will be absolutely necessary, and conference, hopefully, will make sure that everybody's got a good shake when it comes to the byes. As an independent, you've got to schedule those games when your opponent can give you those games. When you're in a conference, especially as you enter conference play, then the conference front office will have an opportunity to make sure that's balanced.
BYU goes 10-3, and we hope finishes in the top 25, at the end of this season. Next season, BYU plays 5 Power 5s, 4 of which are in the top 25 right now: Notre Dame, Baylor, Oregon, Arkansas. It feels like that schedule is tougher because there's tougher opponents despite having fewer Power 5s. What's your opinion?
Sure. Well, it's because of the rankings of those opponents. And that's and also conference. I mean, you talk about now Arkansas and the SEC. Arkansas gave some of the best teams in the SEC fits at times this year, not Georgia, but they played really well. And so Notre Dame, top 10 caliber program, was fired up about their new head coach, Marcus Freeman, replacing Brian Kelly. So the quality of the opponents are are really an upgrade. So you had all those Power 5 opponents this year, but I think on balance, next year's is tougher because top to bottom, you've got, I think, a higher level of competition. And that's just another reason why BYU will need to have their depth squared away. It also means that they'll need to be really squared away in the passing game because they'll be facing some defenses that historically have done very well in slowing down the running game. And this is where the passing game is going to need to really step it up even another notch.
All right, let's talk about all these bowl games. We've watched most of them. I think there were 1,000. Were there 1,000? And there were 4 of them that were pretty good.
Oh, now. Come on.
All right, 5. I forgot the other one. So, Trevor, now that
that's 3,000 teams,
we're coming down to we're coming down to Alabama and Georgia for a rematch, which they probably could have scheduled in July, and these are the 2 best teams that have worked out. But the fact that we're going to get this game for the championship game, and then there's such a gulf between everybody else, do you think that will speed up this 12-team playoff notion so that there is just more interest around these other games as opposed to the 2 top teams in the SEC just playing again?
I think it might speed it up, Dave. And I think that people that are not in the SEC that are upset that once again you've got 2 SEC teams in the final, what they need to do is beat them. Beat them. You don't like it? Don't complain about it. Don't try to drag them down. Just beat them. How to do that? To do what they did in order to get to the top. We think of Alabama as the juggernaut that it's become under Nick Saban, but before Saban, it was a pretty good team. What did Saban do? You do that. But I think that the 12-team playoff does need to happen for the reason that you mentioned, Dave. It's because it'll keep more regions of the country more interested for longer. You just look at the Pac-12, for example, and even the Big 12. In many years, they have not been, and certainly this last year, has not been in the conversation for the playoff as we got into the stretch run of the season because of losses that they incurred early. And so a lot of fans would check out and say, okay, well, it's just a regional game now. It shouldn't be a regional game. It should remain a national game. And that's one of the great things about the 12-team playoff as proposed, that even if you lose a couple of games early, because maybe you've got a young quarterback, maybe you've got a new coaching staff and you're getting acclimated to the system, maybe you had some injuries, but at the end, you're playing like a playoff caliber team. Well, if you got a couple losses early, you won't be considered for the playoff in a 14 playoff. And if you are able to, in a 12-team playoff, play well and win your conference, you can still get in and make some noise. And that keeps fans interested all around the country. I think that's important for the game.
ESPN's Trevor Matich is on BYU Sports Nation, and perhaps it affects the opt-outs. Let's talk about that. Obviously, Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard's had some comments that got a lot of attention. What's your opinion of players opting out for bowl games as it pertains to love of the game, let's say?
Well, I've got tremendous respect for Kirk and Desmond, but I see this subject differently than they do. I think you can love the game and still opt out, because there's a future that you're looking to. And it depends on the individual player. That's why I wouldn't put it as just one blanket standard that everybody needs to follow. For example, a few years ago, there was a running back at Baylor who had a bit of a knucklehead tendency, got suspended by his own coach, came back, played, decided that he was going to opt out of the bowl game. Well, the NFL wanted to see him play that bowl game, because they needed to see that he loved the game, that he can come back from knucklehead behavior and be disciplined and finish. And he didn't show him that. And I don't think he ever did make it in the NFL. I think he wasn't drafted. But then again, you've got other guys. That Leonard Fournette, for example, Super Bowl champion last year, running back with Tampa Bay. At LSU, he played with a bad ankle. He opted out of the bowl game. And a lot of people said he didn't love the game. But what you're doing by compelling players to play in those games that are exhibition games, not the playoff games, of course. What you're doing is you're compelling them, pressuring them to put pressure on their future that they don't want to put on it. For example, Kenny Pickett, who is said to be the first quarterback taken in this draft, probably will be first or second, certainly, played for Pitt, opted out from the bowl game. And a lot of people said, well, gee, you needed to play. Well, why? He already laid down all the film that he needed to for NFL scouts to know what he's going to do. And at that point, at the end of the regular season and the conference championship game, at that point, Pickett, if he just stayed healthy until the time he signed his name on the contract, he would be guaranteed millions of dollars, life-changing money for himself and his family, guaranteed if he just stays healthy. And if he decides that he doesn't want to risk 2 weeks of bowl practice and then a bowl game where who knows who's playing in that game that might want to make a name for himself and dive into his legs, right? If he doesn't want to take that risk, then I think the locker room and the program also need to be loyal to him and say, thank you for everything you've done for us. And we understand that you want to maximize your opportunity and potential to go forward. And I think that loyalty goes both ways, and the love of the game needs to go both ways too.
It seems to me, and I could be wrong, that going into the '84 Michigan game at the Holiday Bowl, Michigan 6-5, BYU's playing for some stuff. But if Glenn Kozlowski told you, Craig Garrick, and Robert and I that he was going to sit this one out, I think the three of you would punch him in the face.
No. Two of us will punch him in the face. The other one would punch him somewhere else. And so, yeah. But see, that game was for the national championship for us, not for Michigan, but for us. And nobody even considered stepping out. This is why we're talking about exhibition bowl games. Now, the Rose Bowl is different. Ohio State had 4 starters, I believe.
Yeah.
Opt out of the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl. You opt out of the Rose Bowl. Okay. But if that's what you feel is best for you, okay, it's not the playoff. And that's what the important thing is. For me personally, playing in that game, let's say it wasn't for the national championship, playing for that game was critical to my future in the NFL. And I didn't even consider opting out, never would have, even if it wasn't for the national championship. But because of the schedule that we played, we faced Michigan now. And their nose guard was Mark Mesner, one of only 2 Wolverines to ever go 4 straight years as a starter, first team all Big Ten for Michigan football. Never happened before or since, except 2 guys. Mesner was one, and that was his sophomore year. And the NFL got to see me against that guy. And I think that helped me become a first-round draft choice. So it really does depend on what the individual circumstances are as to how you evaluate whether or not they should have opted out.
It's certainly a different era, and it's interesting to hear the opinions from you, Trevor. We appreciate the time. Happy holidays. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Georgia, Alabama. Who you got, by the way? Who's your pick?
Right now I'm leaning Alabama, and the reason is that Georgia, I still don't know that their defensive backfield will be able to handle the passing attack a second time against the Tide. I think that's the difference.
Okay, Alabama. We'll talk to you next week, Trev. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Trev.
Thanks, guys.